Hi, hi, welcome to Matt's class, and today we will be talking about ways to make your classroom more fun. And this is purely kind of like idea based, theoretical based. I'm not giving out like lesson plans, giving out ideas or like things to consider when trying to make your classroom more fun. Ultimately, more fun for the students and more fun for you. The first thing I think is so important is to really define what you think fun is. Fun looks differently to everybody. Fun looks differently to every teacher in every classroom. You really need to define fun. Now, the Oxford Dictionary defines fun as enjoyment, amusement, or lighthearted pleasure. Fun in the classroom means to me when we're able to have very deep discussions where students are able to create connections between material and the real world, and ultimately creating an environment where students see themselves as active participants rather than passive participants, right? It's fun. So I'm having fun and my students are having fun when we're able to have really deep, really great dynamic discussions, when they're able to create connections between the material and the outside world or even with themselves, and when they're able to see themselves as active participants in the lesson or in the environment, right? So that's my fun. If all these things are going down, I am having a blast in that class. I think it's really important for you to define fun. I think it's really important for you to play it to your personality type. Like, I'm very energetic, I'm very social, I love to doodle, I love to draw, I love art, and I love writing. So that will all show up in my classroom because these are my ideas and examples of fun, right? So for people who find themselves more introverted or more, I would just say when you are defining your idea of fun, you really need to tap into things that you enjoy as a teacher, things that interest you as a teacher, and byproduct of that, right, you being interested and you being engaged about these things, that energy rubs off on the students. Before you even start with the lesson plans, before you even start with all these other things to do in your classroom, start with those foundations of what makes things fun for you in your classroom. Okay. 2, fun resources. So let's say I want to make it fun, but I don't necessarily have the resource to do so because one, resources are expensive and not always are they accessible, and that could just stop you in your tracks. I want to have more fun, but I don't know what it looks like. One of the core foundations of fun for me is creating connections. And if I focus on creating connections, then I don't really need expensive or elaborate things in a classroom. I just need to find ways to create connections in the classroom, right? Something I do every day is I have a question of the day. It's an argumentative question, and I pick topics that I think are relevant and I engaging, and we get to talk it out. And with the focus being on creating connections, whatever a foundation is, because it is an idea and because it doesn't require a tangible thing, the ideas are endless. Okay, you can create connections with essays, you can create connections with articles, you can create connections with experiences, you can create connection with just anything, honestly, and that can make it fun. From my point of view, from my foundations of fun, that lends itself to becoming fun. Third, the challenge always is how to make it more rigorous. How can I pair this with the curriculum standards? And what has been a lifesaver for me is using AI or ChatGPT. And what I do is I simply make it more rigorous by pairing it with discussion questions, independent questions, response questions. I put in my idea, I come up with these questions, or I come up with concrete ways to make it rigorous in some way, shape, or form. And usually this is through a group discussion and then an independent discussion and then maybe a rubric. I'll create a rubric through ChatGPT. I am the idea maker. My ideas, ChatGPT couldn't recreate my idea in a million years. But when it comes to fast pacing those questions, fast pacing those mechanics, those rubrics, those technical areas, it's perfect for that. So when it comes to making my fun ideas rigorous, making my fun ideas up to class standards, or making my fun ideas challenging, I really just compute it in a ChatGPT. And if you want a video on how to do that or what that looks like, I can make one about that. But ChatGPT will save your life on that. But when it comes to the creating connections and all of that, the ideas, the fun stuff, that's all you. That is all you. The fourth way to make your classroom more fun is make fun make funness the norm. I think funness is something we reserve for like a Friday where we're just feeling really good. And I think if we want our classroom to be fun, then it shouldn't be only reserved for Fridays. Incorporating funness in everyday class for me looks like pairing my assignments and my tests and my essays with games, question of the days, and giving students a chance to win things, right? So with games, when I did middle school, I did like 4 corners for figurative language. Instead of just sitting there taking a test or doing that, we would play 4 corners with it, right? Or Kahoot. Games are always effective, even with my college students. Charades. Question of the day is just simply conversation starter. It's simply to break the ice. It's simply to get the students talking. It's simply to just have a conversation that doesn't have to be related to school or education at all. I did this with my middle schoolers. TED Ed has so many education and animated videos, and sometimes we would just watch it and we would come up with discussion questions like, okay, if we're talking about mental health and emotions, like how do we regulate our emotions? How do you regulate your emotions, right? What mental health problems do you see most with your friends in middle school and stuff like that? So it's just simply a simple and easy way to connect with your students easily. And since this is everyday practice, they're like anticipating it becomes the norm. So great conversations and interesting questions and videos or whatever, that becomes the norm. So that becomes every day and not just Friday. Making fun the norm through things like this, and doesn't even have to look like this. I know I can be a very silly and goofy person, but making fun the norm will definitely make your classroom more fun, make them want to come here. Okay, these are ways to make your classroom more fun. While not every class is fun, every class definitely has one of these elements. Thank you for watching Maths Class, and I will see y'all later.